Okay, so moving on to adding in links, what we're going to do to begin with, before we move up to the navigation bar, is add in a hyperlink within our text itself. So normally you would have actual text written in here. Maybe you've copied it from the internet or something along those lines. So what I'm thinking though, since we don't have that information, I probably shouldn't type it straight into there, I should type it into my code. What I'm going to do is add in a hyperlink of a Instagram page. So I'm thinking I'm going to probably not add to my paragraph that's already here. I'm going to add another P1. So I could do that. I'm just trying to get my levels right, but I can't. That's fine. That's okay. I will fix that in a second. So I'm going to go insert and then paragraph. And within this paragraph, I'm going to say at Bill Gates. We'll link it to Bill Gates' Instagram page. I wonder where I got that from. Alright, so once I've done that, I'm going to highlight the text that I'm wanting to create a hyperlink to, and I am going to select link, which, there we go, hyperlink. So this is what I've got here. This is the text. I need to find a link to Bill Gates' Instagram page. So there's one of my videos. Let me move that out of the way. So I'm going to type in Bill Gill. Choose whatever famous celebrity you like, guys. So then I'm going to copy here's hyperlink. Probably do it now while it's still loading. And I'm going to paste that in here. And I don't really need to deal with any of the other stuff, so I am going to go OK. And then what should happen is it should change colour. Now, if I wanted to, I should be able to, through CSS, change that colouring. For this one, I think I'm going to leave it as is. But now that we have done for one, let's see if we can do for more. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add our link up here. Now, instead of highlighting this about down here and pressing link, there is another way that you can do it. It may take slightly longer, or your Dreamweaver might have a moment while you're doing this, but we'll give it a crack. What should happen is if you highlight a certain section up here, it should come up with, there we go, it didn't work the first couple of times for me, the opportunity to make your text bold or in italics, and it also gives you the opportunity to add a link. Now this link here, we could copy and paste in a link from the internet like we did with the Bill Gates Instagram page, or alternatively we can create a link to another document that is saved in our root folder. So we don't have another document created just yet, but I am thinking that when I do create a new document, it will have, I will have an about page, I'll have a sales page, I'll have a portfolio, and I'll have a contact. Now, I've just realised I also need a home page, so I'm going to add that in, so that then I have that too. So my home page, if I highlight that again, and hopefully, yep, that will come up, I am essentially going to ask it to go to index.html, so I want it to go back to this page. And you can see that it has created a hyperlink by giving it that blue colour, excuse me. The about page, I want it to go to about.html. So that will be the name of the new page that I will create momentarily. I will create, again, a sales page. Sales.html. Make sure that you're spelling this correctly as well, because if you spell something incorrectly, then it will not link. A simple mistake, but would be crucial. And then you have contact. Now, before we move on to making this appear more like a navigation section, now that we have our hyperlinks, let's change the colouring because that's not standing out so well. Now, I had a go at this previously, and I created a selector on the side that was navigation, and I've tried changing the colour, and for the life of me it hasn't worked. Now, I'm just explaining my problem solving that I went through. I have realised that nav isn't a strong enough selector for my HTML document to understand or my CSS document to understand that I only want the links themselves to change color. It is thinking that it just wants my normal text within the nav to change color. So I'm actually going to delete that selector, and I'm going to scroll down to where it's got the A, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to press plus selector, and I want body nav A. Okay, so it's telling me that it's going to change the color within my body, within my navigation, within only the links. Okay, so yes, I'm happy with that. Let's see if this hopefully works this time, because like I said, the last time I was very puzzled. Okay, so we have the body nav A selected. I'm going to scroll down to my text. I'm going to change my colouring. Now, for me to choose my colour, I could alternatively pick a colour, or I can use the eyedropper tool and select something from my background, which is what I think I will do. I think I would like this, one of these reds that's in here, maybe that one. And then I'm going to, once it's selected, click off. And thank goodness it worked this time. If I wanted to play around, I probably maybe would prefer a yellow. Maybe I can quickly do that and see if I can find a nice yellow within these stamens. You're slightly dodgy. See, this is why I should have just stuck with the red. But anyway, that's nicer. Okay, alright, so that's standing out a little bit better. So, now that I have done that, I think that the design looks a little bit better. How can I make these navigations work separately? Now, the answer to that is I need to create a unordered list down here. At the moment, I just have five different links. Wait, do I have... Yes, it did add it in automatically, because if you remember, I added the home and it has written the correct HTML. Gee, this thing is smart. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I want to do it within my nav still, or remember, if I had forward planned, it would probably be called header and something else wouldn't be called header, but anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go insert, and I'm going to select unordered list. And I've just selected ordered list, that's why that looks weird. Unordered list. And then within that, I would like some list items. So specifically 5. But I need to enter in between. And I might just copy and paste these last ones. Okay, so I have 5. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to dismantle these links that are here. So I'm going to copy each link at a time, making sure that I've got the front and the back end tag of my link in there. And I'm going to copy it, delete it, and I'm going to paste it in between my list item, making sure that I've got everything. And then I'm going to follow that process again. Oop, I forgot to delete this one. And this one. This one. And contact. Okay, and then I'm gonna, if I haven't already, delete these. So that then the next part is the div. So now that I've got those unordered lists, you can see, it hasn't updated. Why not? Where's my contact? There it is. Okay. Now you can see that I have a list line like so. Now, what I am after is getting rid of these dots that are here. So again, that's going to be CSS. But before I add the CSS in, I need to create a new selector. So that selector that I'm going to add in, before I add it in over here, I'm going to create a class, because otherwise any unordered list that I have within my website will take on these features. So I'm going to create a class, and it is going to be called nav list. Then if I select that class and why can I not? There we go. And then if I create a selector, something just happened. I'm not sure what it is. Let's have a look. So I'm confused because over here it's got that class. Maybe perhaps my selector just didn't work, so maybe I'll go again. Okay. And then I have my nav list. Then if I come down to here, I believe, it is a text thing, but I could be wrong. List style or list type. I want none. There we go, we got rid of our dots, okay? Now, next we're going to add in a class for each of our list items. Now, the reason that I'm doing this, and I'm creating a class for each of my list items, and I'll do that while I'm talking, is so that then I can float, I can't talk and do it at the same time, so that then I can float these links that I've created in an unordered list so they're all in one line. And the reason that we've created them in the unordered list rather than just like essentially in a paragraph or written in one line is so that then they become individual links that you can click on, and we can potentially add buttons to them as well and jazz up our navigation so that then it looks more fancy. So this generally would be how you would create a simple navigation structure. So instead of nav list, we're going to this time write nav item. And yep, that looks good. And then what I'd suggest is use your Control C, Control V to copy and paste each of those. Wonderful. And then what we're going to do is similar to what we did beforehand. That needs to move out my way, but you guys can't see that. Similar to what we did beforehand, we're going to add another selector here, which is going to be, let's just go nav. Oh, I added an E. I don't want it to be nave. Okay, all right, I need to fix that. I might even delete this selector before I do so. Gee, that's terrible. Okay. Make sure you spell stuff right, guys. Okay, so finish that one off. Got my class. Adding in my selector. Again, I don't need the nav list. Nav item is good enough. And then what we're going to do with this selector is then go to our layout, I believe it is. Scroll down a bit. We're looking for the float, and I want to, I think I want to float to the left. We're going to see if this is going to work. There we go. So now I want to add some padding so that then they are not touching each other. So I'm going to go to my layout and I'm going to go to padding, and I'll make it sure it's locked in, and I will go 10 pixels, I'm thinking. However, you can see now this looks good, but my image that is in my div down here is now in line with the navigation. Now, for us to fix that, we need to do some adjusting, not with the individual nav lists that we've added, nav items that we've added, but the overall nav list. So we're going to change our selector, and we're going to go to nav list. Here, let's start off by changing a background color. This probably isn't going to work, but we will do it anyway for now. I'm going to change it to the same color as I've got this one here, so white for me, and I'm going to click off. Now, it hasn't worked. The reason for that is because we need to change a setting under the float. At the moment, this image here is essentially hiding the white background that we just added in. So we're going to go overflow X because the overflow or the overlapping is happening in like a landscape kind of line, X line, and we're going to make that hidden, and hopefully, there we go. So in hiding it, it's moved the image down, and I now have that there. Now, I'm going to go back to this text real quick. I don't know about you. Did you pick a colour that doesn't stand out well against the background? I didn't. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change that. So I'm going to go text. That's what I want. Do I have the right selector selected? Yes, I do. For some reason, the colour is set as that. Because we didn't do our colour changes in our nav list. We did it in our body nav A. So I'm going to go back to that one instead, and I'm going to change my colour. I don't mind this colour. I just think it needs to be brighter. So I'm going to increase the brightness. Much better. Okay. Now, I like that colour. I think I'm going to add it in as a bit of a border and fancy this up. So again, back to my nav list because I'm working on the entire thing. I'm going to go borders. I'm going to select only one border. I don't want the entire thing encompassed. I could go top or I could go bottom. In my case, I think I want to go top. I think I want to change does it give me the opportunity to change color? There it is. So I want to change it to the exact same color as my yellow. Now, because that's highlighted, it is warping it, so I'm going to click off. There we go. Let's try again. Good. Okay. And I want my width to be, I could go pixels, and I could say 5 pixels. That has changed something, but not what I wanted. Okay, I need style. I need solid. Has that worked? No. Okay. Do I need a larger width, perhaps? Is it because it didn't have pixels selected? Perhaps let's try 50. What if we try the bottom? Should be working, but it's not. There we go. Okay. For some reason, everything just wasn't adding up there, but you can see that I have got all of that in. Now, 50 is too big. I was just trying to make it actually work. Let's try 5. That's nice. I like that. Gives it a bit of class. Okay, remember what we did with our copyright down the bottom here? Now, if you missed that in the video, I have gone back and I have created a part 1.5 because I did miss out the copyright part in the video. So I want to make sure that my nav is attached right to the top. For me to do that, I would want to go to the layout section. So I'm just going to cheat and go to there. I want to adjust my position in pixels at the top to 0 pixels. Oh, I just changed the padding, not the pixels. My bad. Let's try this one. No, I did change the right one. Okay. So, and I also want to make that, if I make it fixed, then I'll be able to see the padding regardless. And I also, if we remember, I made this 100%. I don't know whether I need to do that again, but we'll give it a crack. I don't want 100 pixels. There we go. It still is not fixed right to the top though. Interesting. Anyway, why is that like that? Perhaps I need to go back and I need to go to my div and I need to add in more of a margin on the top. So I'm going to unlock it and I'm going to go 80 or 100. Okay. I think I've said it quite a number of times, but that's the brilliance of Dreamweaver, is that you're able to keep fiddling and playing with things. Like, for example, this Miss Dawson part I feel has dropped too far down, so I'm going to find the header and I am going to play with that and make the margin perhaps 18%. Rather than a 20, and I'm going to go save all, and I'm going to go real time view. Hopefully this will work. We keep our fingers crossed. Come on. Let's try again. There we go. And yeah, so yeah, that you can see that that's too far down. So I might adjust that. I might even make that not a percentage, but a pixel width down. Okay, So what we have here is a basic layout of a web page. In the next video, so what are we up to now? Part 4, I'm going to start to show you some Bootstrap components and how you can use those to improve and quicken your production of websites in Dreamweaver even faster. I'm also going to talk to you about creating responsive web layouts. We've kind of been doing that with our percentages already, but adding to that even more so, as well as, I guess, some other cool tips and tricks. But I think for now, this is probably the end of our home web page, and we're probably going to start to create some of these other web pages from now on. Great job for sticking this far, guys.